Hi, this is Lisa with CrochetMore.com. Today we're going to work on our dish towel topper pattern. For the dish towel topper, you're going to use a 4-ply worsted weight yarn like a Red Heart Super Saver. You're going to need 2 crochet hooks, and normally we don't use a steel crochet hook with worsted weight yarn, but in this instance we need a small hook, a size 10, which has a very little tiny head on it, and we're going to use that to pierce the holes through the towel because we're going to work into the towel itself. Then you're going to use another crochet hook. It's also a steel hook, which is a size 00, and it has just a little bit bigger head. That's to help us accommodate the thicker yarn. So we're going to use the small one to poke holes in the towel, and then the larger one to actually attach the yarn with single crochet stitches to the base of the towel. So this is what we're going to be working on. This is I made this out of half of a towel, and you can use any kind of towel, but I bought these with the little grid lines on it because it seemed easier to divide and place all of my stitches. There's 17 little small squares across this towel, and in order to get, we need 44 base stitches for the base row, and in order to get those 44 stitches, I need to put 3 stitches in each square on the end, and then 2 stitches in each square along the center, and then every other divider line, the vertical lines that you see on the towel, we're going to do 1 stitch in every other divider line, and that should give you a total of 44. So to begin, you've cut your towel in half, and you can see we have the raw edge. We're going to turn the corner down. Then you're going to fold down a hem. You're going to fold it down once and then again. So you're rolling that hem to hide the raw edge of the towel. Now to begin the pattern, and I've already punched a few holes, but you're going to take your small crochet hook, the little tiny one, and you're going to push it all the way through where you need your first hole, which is going to be right almost to the edge, right at the side hem area. So you're going to pull that all the way through, and you can see it makes pretty good size hole. Then you're going to take the larger hook and you're going to attach the yarn. So you're going to go into that hole you just made. You're going to take the yarn, holding that hem. You're going to yarn over and pull a loop through. And the first stitch is usually the hardest one. You're going to pull that up, and you're going to finish a single crochet by yarning over and pulling through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay. Now you're going to have to keep rolling that hem. Make sure you have the raw edge tucked as you go. So we're going to take our small hook again. We're going to go through the next hole. You could punch all the holes through at once, like do all the holes and then go back and crochet, but they tend to disappear because the weave of the fabric moves. So we're going to go in our second stitch, yarn over, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2 of our stitches for the 3 that we need in this first square. We're going to make our next hole. Yarn over, pull the loop, yarn over through 2. So we have 3 stitches in our first square. The vertical lines on the towel, in the very first one, we're going to do a stitch in every other vertical line. So in the very first one, we're going to put a stitch. In the next square, we need 2 stitches. So you just kind of eyeball it, evenly space them best you can. need 2 stitches in the next square. I'm not going to do one in this vertical line, so we're going to go over a little ways. One more stitch in that square. You can use any kind of a towel with this pattern. Even towels that have pictures printed on both sides, those will work as long as the picture is far enough from the center that the hem won't interfere with the way the picture looks. Okay, we're to the next vertical line where we need a stitch, so we're going to make a hole on that line. And we need 2 stitches in the next square. And we're not going to put a stitch in this vertical line, so we're going to the next square. We need 2 more stitches. Sometimes it snags the towel. If it does that, just take the hook out and try again. Okay. One more in this square. And we're coming up on another vertical line where we're going to need a stitch. And the base row takes longer than the rest of the towel. Okay, we're to the next vertical line. Put a stitch there. If you have skills as far as just regular sewing, if you have a sewing machine, you can hem the edge of this towel and then crochet around it. That would be fine also. So we need 2 stitches in the next square. We're pretty much crocheting around it, holds the edges. Well, you don't really have to do that, that's just a personal preference. One more stitch in this one. Now this next vertical line is where we're going to need another stitch, so we kind of space those where they'll be pretty evenly apart. Okay, we're to the next vertical line where we need a stitch. So I'm going to make a hole on that vertical line. hem rolled. Need 2 stitches in the next square. Two stitches in the next square. We're to the next vertical line where we need a stitch, so we're going to go right on that line and make a stitch. Two stitches in the next square. Two in the next square. The towels with the grid lines on them are much easier to keep the hem straight. Okay, we're to the next divider, vertical divider row or line. I'm going to make one on that line. Two in the next square. The rest of the pattern goes really fast, but this base row takes a little while. And two in the next square. Another stitch on the vertical line. 2 stitches in the next square. Two in the next. We're almost to the end. And we're on the vertical line that needs a stitch again. Two stitches in this square. And when you get to the last square, we need to make sure we tuck that corner under like you did when you started, and then roll it, so that'll hold that corner securely. So we need, in the last square, remember we're going to do 3 stitches. So we're going to put one just to the other side of that vertical line. Keeping that hem rolled under. Do one in the center of that square. And the very last one we're going to do right on the edge, the side of the side, right as close to that folded hem as you can get. That'll be your last stitch. And you want that stitch to be pretty snug when you pull it through. I'm going to give it a little tug. And that is the base row. So this is what your base row should look like.